Hi everyone, my name's Kate and today I'm going to be testing out my video camera because I'll be taking this video camera on the 1989 tour with me to see Taylor Swift. The Fearless tour came to Manchester on November 24th, 2009. I live in Scotland and it's maybe like 5 hours by road to Manchester. So when I saw an advert for it in the newspaper, I'd done the only thing I could, I sulked. I really thought it was way too far to ask my mum or my dad to drive me there. A few times this day the newspaper advert kept on appearing next to me and I thought that was really weird, and I thought maybe my dad doesn't realise that I've already seen it, maybe he just wants to put it there and say, hey, Taylor's coming to the UK. Oh, but she's not coming to Glasgow, so... And then eventually my dad said, okay, did you see the advert? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, you saw it, she's coming to the UK. Yeah. And he got up and he went, okay, hug me. And I was like, what? Because we hug each other, but usually it's just like when we're saying goodbye or something. And then he walked out the room and went upstairs. And at that point I started to think, did he already know about the Fearless tour? He came downstairs with an email confirmation to say that we were going to the Fearless tour. Had on the back a seating chart and he's drawn a little smiley face next to where we were going to be sitting. The day of the concert arrives and we're going to Manchester. We now have our tickets, Block H, really far forwards, and I was very excited. As we get to the arena, I start to see more and more Taylor Swift fans everywhere I go. There's people with cowboy boots, sparkly dresses, nice curled hair, and that's just the first time I'd really ever seen a big bunch of Swifties. And I was like, okay, let's go and see what merchandise there is. Now this t-shirt that I'm wearing just here is one from the Fearless tour, but it's not one that I bought while I was at the Fearless tour, because if I turn around, there's no tour dates on the back there, and I really wanted a t-shirt that had tour dates on it. So I decided to get this yellow t-shirt. It's got a nice picture of Taylor on the front, and on the back it's got all the Fearless tour dates. The other thing I also got was the Fearless tour book. There's some absolutely lovely pictures in here. Really high quality. If you ever go to a Taylor Swift show, please get a tour programme because they are always really beautifully put together. There's some lovely photos in there. There's not usually any writing in it other than sometimes there's like a little bit from Taylor at the very beginning, just thank you for coming or something. Absolutely beautiful photos, and if I had a spare one of these I'd be hanging up some of the photos on my wall. The show begins and out comes Justin Bieber. And at this point I knew that Justin Bieber was going to be opening the show, but I didn't know who he was. I wasn't particularly impressed with him, but I knew that Taylor was coming on, so that was okay. During the break, they were putting things up on the screens that were above our heads, kind of saying things like, cheer if you're excited to be in Manchester, yell if you're excited for Taylor and stuff, but we were sat under these screens and we couldn't see what they said on them. So every few seconds or so, everyone would suddenly go, yeah! Whoa! Hooray! And we were just like, are we missing something here? The show was absolutely gobsmacking. I was just so amazed by the things she was coming up with. It was like watching a theatrical show, only this was one singer and just a group of dancers, and all this stuff was kind of the stuff that she imagined for her songs. And my favourite bit was, I did not see this coming at all. For Hey Stephen, she was at the very back of the room, singing from the very last row. And that was really cool. That was so cool that she came, and this was when she was still able to find time to give everybody a hug. And when she got back to the stage, she was singing Tim McGraw, and she got like a really really big cheer at the end of that. And she looked absolutely amazed. Because this was Taylor's first arena show, so she wasn't really used to so many people feeling so much love for her, especially so far away from home. So you could see her eyes filling up with tears. The other song that I really enjoyed was Picture to Burn, one of my favourites, and also Tell Me Why. Not for any particular reason, it wasn't so much what she was doing on the stage at that point. They're just a couple of my favourite songs. At the end of the show, I will always remember this because this is the first time that I ever came across the tea party. A few girls, kind of in the lower tiers, near to where we were sitting, they went over to security and they showed a wristband that they had with them. And they were like, "Excuse me," and they were showing this wristband to the guy, and he was like, "Yeah, you just wait in the section over there." And the girls were like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" And I was like, I don't know what's going on, but I kind of want to know. And, you know, I was really curious, but at the same time my dad was like, you don't have a wristband, so whatever it is, you're not gonna get in anyway. But still a really good show, and I'm really glad I went. I'm really glad we found a way to go. The funny thing as well is, if I'd kind of stuck to the rule that Manchester was too far to travel for a show, I would never have seen Taylor live. Anyway, that was my Fearless experience. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, at least I know that this camera works now. So thanks for watching. Cheerio!